Hi everyone, Adrian here and welcome to Wild Bush and Grit. Today we are cooking one of my favorite recipe. It's a soup inspired from the facus, the Greek lentil soup, and in my own twist. I kind of added and removed some ingredient here and here, and the whole focus of my version is how to put it. It's about grilled smoked flavor into this lentil soup. So let's have a look quickly at the table. What do we have? And let's get cooking. Okay, so for this recipe, what you'll need, of course, you'll need your venison. Here I'm using shanks, but literally you could use whatever piece you want, especially piece that needs to stew for a long time. So use your tougher cuts, use your tougher pieces, because this is going to cook about 2 to 3 hours. 2 hours and a half, let's say. And you don't want to spoil your prime cut for this. Here I like to use some smoked bacon. You'll need some fresh oregano, smoked dried chipotle. That's gonna add really nice flavor. We're going to start the venison will spend some time on the barbecue, so that whole recipe is getting that grilled, smoked vibe here. And the smoked bacon, the smoked chipotle, and the grilled venison will really combine all these flavors together. You can substitute some of these items here, but the core of this recipe is that grilled smoked flavor. Alright, next you'll need plenty of broth. Here I have beef broth, but you can use chicken broth or vegetable broth, and I'm gonna use about 10 cups. Of course you'll need some green lentils. Here about 1 pound of lentil, 1 pound of buttersquash. You can substitute the buttersquash with sweet potato. That also works. You'll need some potatoes. You can use those are russet potato. You can use Yukon Gold. You can use red potato. It doesn't matter. You just need about a pound of potato. I have 2 celery stems with the leaves that I'm going to chop. Everything into pieces and send that on the skillet soon. Some onions. At the end you'll need some, when you're ready to serve, some lemon juice and some lemon wedges. Here for spices I have some coriander seeds and cumin seeds and bay leaves. And of course you'll need some vegetable oils, some pepper and salt. So the first step in this recipe is to start with the shank. The shanks. Should I say it in plural or I don't know, shanks. So here I'll add about 2-3 tablespoons of oil. This is grapeseed oil, and over medium heat. So I'll let this heat up. So when you feel the heat, it's good, because what you want to do here is you want to give some colors to those shanks. So while this is browning, it's a good time to preheat your barbecue. And I'm gonna set the barbecue at medium heat as well. So that's fine, this looks good to me. So I can shut it down and I'll put it on the barbecue. Let's go outside. Alright, now we're outside, so I'm going to put the shanks on the barbecue. They have nice color already, so that's pretty good. That's what we're looking for. We're gonna cook for quite some time here. I would like it to spend at least an hour. So I have 3 burners here. The left and the right burner are set to medium, and I'm gonna almost turn off the one in the middle. Actually, you know what? I'll turn off the one in the middle, and I'll keep the 2 sides on at medium high, and I'm going to cover it. All right, I see you in a bit. So the meat is on the barbecue, but we're not done. I mean, it's not time to take a break. We still need to prep the onions, the garlic, the bacon, all these things together. So, you know, by the time the meat is ready, we can put everything together. All right, let's go on the table. So I ran out of propane in the barbecue, so I have to bring the shanks back inside. They're finishing the oven. I have maybe 15 minutes left on the timer. Now I'm gonna start cooking the rest of the ingredients. And once all this is ready, we'll put everything in the oven for about another 50 minutes or so, okay? So let's go back to the stovetop. So back on the stovetop, medium heat, same pan as we used, same pot as we used for the shank earlier. You know, all this goodness inside, we want to keep this flavor. We want this flavor to contribute to our recipe here. So I'm gonna keep cooking on that. As soon as this is the proper temperature, as soon as this heats up, I'm gonna throw in the bacon, and then we'll roll from here. So medium heat, yeah, that's good. Starting with the bacon, give it a few swirls. You may have to add a little bit of oil based on how much left you had, you know, from the when we brown the shanks. But add maybe 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil before dumping in the bacon. I'm lightly gonna brown these. I want them to start giving up their flavor, you know, I want that fat to start melting. And then I'm gonna throw in the onions and the garlics. I'm gonna put 3 cloves of garlic in it, crushed. So at some point the bacon will start to lose its moisture, and you'll hear it also. Well, first it's gonna start to take some color. You'll be hearing it, you know, it's going to sound more like frying instead of boiling. And it's gonna start picking up some really nice color. So here it's time to add the onions. Now the moisture in the onions will actually deglaze the bottom of the pan and start lifting up those flavors. Now the onions are getting translucent. You will not believe the smell that is coming out of this pot, folks. You will not believe this. If you go on and make that recipe, please come back to this section. Please enter in a comment. Let me know. Was I right? Which, of course, green lentil needs to be washed. For that, it's about 1 pound. So I got the shanks out of the oven. This is how they look. This one is pretty funny, kind of exploded. But it's okay. All the flavor is there. And we're ready to add that to our main pot. Let's do it. We're gonna add the 2 bay leaves, the coriander and the cumin seeds. Move around. The potatoes. The butternut. Pinch of salt. Probably add more later. The chipotle and the oregano. Just like that. Don't worry about it. Now we're gonna drown everything in our broth. Don't be afraid to feed it up, folks. Don't be afraid to feed it up. Voila, because I had a little bit more than 10 cups. So now what happened to this is I'm going to cover it and I'll send it to the oven for about an hour. Temperature 350. My. I'd like to close this video on some tasting note. I know that this recipe is ready for the Foodie Plus Plus. It's a very hearty meal, has a lots of flavor. Each mouthful are going to be very different from one another. You know, we have various spices in seeds like the coriander and the cumin. And actually, I insist on using the seeds version. Do not use the powder version because the powder version will just dissipate throughout the soup. But if you were to use the seeds, what is going to happen is from time to time you'll bite one coriander seed and the next time it's going to be a cumin seed, and this change each bite. You know, like each mouthful is different from one another, and that's very lovely about that recipe. So that's it. That's how I make my venison soup, and this one is definitely my favorite. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. That's going to help me move this channel forward. And that's it, folks. I wish you good luck. Have fun out there. Be safe out there. And see you in the next video. Bye-bye. See ya.